Hello, my name is Gabriel Ndikon of the Charity Medical Foundation and International Credit Incorporated. Paymont is Charity Med Fund and IT Inc. Today the topic of my coverage will be the universe and the cosmic law controlled and governed by the great supreme architect of this universe called Adonai Elohim Yahweh. And also the subtitle will be The Choosing Son, the Man of Courage. It just came up. So before I start, I would like to say good evening, bonsoir, good night, hello, ni hao, buongiorno, my dear friend and fellows. For peace, I'm going to say shalom and shalom, and let's start. But before I go further, I want to start with this one. I want to say this statement. Somebody want me. What do I say that? Somebody want me. What does that mean? When you face a lot of challenges in life, in a certain point, it becomes evident that somebody want you. Very interesting, right? I went to run today, and I was actually going to do some physical exercises, and I went inside and I was trying to start my practice, and there was a lady that I knew. She's from Africa, and when I came forward, and from the same country that I am, and when I came forward, and I just say hi to her very, very politely, and which is not really the way that we convey it in that sort of communication in our culture. And when I came back, she said to me, "You say hi to me like you didn't see me, you didn't see your sister, like you didn't even want to talk to me." I said, "No, I handle business. When I come to run, it's like I come to work. So I say hi to you." She said, "I thought that your mind was crazy." And in my mind, I was looking at her like, "Do you want to say that? I understand that you have some toxin on you. And actually, the report that I received was that you're supposed to act like a crazy man." And I said to her, "No, I am alright. Pretty much those toxins gonna go away and I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just here for practice." You see, that's the point, my fellow friends, that there are many people out there who function with he say, I heard, you know. I heard somebody today. I went to, and I went to the post office, tried to send my mail, and I have that guy mission. His job came up, parked his car, came out, came inside. His job was making sure that there's no lady around me by himself. And when he was leaving, I said to him, "You forgot there was somebody hiding there." See, the point is, if you want to go out there and do defamation over defamation, try to go like defame the person name, a good guy like I will have a good company with all the criteria required. And therefore, I went now try to purchase an item at the store, gas station, and I came forward, and the guy said to me, "No, those machines, those do not work." It came in my mind, oh, you wanted to say that I know you don't work, so you don't have no dime with you. That's how it came out. I don't work, huh? Where did you hear that? I do. So the point is, I am Gabriel Ndikon, and I own a multi-million dollar company in the next 20 years. I wanted to repeat it to people. I want to start first. I know people see me here. They don't know where my life is going. They don't know where I come from. They don't know exactly what's going on in my life. But they are evolving conclusion or inferences based on what they heard. This is a new year, and I will be more clear, politely clear, that people understand that I am crystal clear moving forward, because I want them to know that you might be living close to someone who might change the world tomorrow, and just a lot of respect will be fine, because the way you treat me today will depend on how our relationship will be tomorrow. I want them to remember that. Let's start. When I came out from the military in 2007, after I went to school there and get the training that I'm supposed to get to serve the nation that I do love, I still love, I don't care. I'm surrounded with wrong people. That's it. That's it. They don't represent no ideology for this nation. If tomorrow I become a millionaire, they're all gonna come to me and ask for assistance. So it doesn't really matter. It's a problem of going from the bottom to the top, and that's the challenge. And that's what I can say. That's what I can say. The point is this: when I end up in the military, came out, I met with qual people based on my experience, based on my education background. Because remember, I was 2007. To know how old I was, you have to do 107 minus 79. That gave you around 28 year old I was, based on my equation of maximum average life expectancy. So I'm not crazy. I tell you I'm not. I can do some calculation. All right. So came out, went to school, where I'm from, went to university there, studied. Came here, went to Cincinnati State and studied some basic mathematics, algebra and Greeks at the time, physics, algebra and Greeks at the time, network communication, all those basic courses, and some very advanced courses in electronic technology, very much in biomedical stuff. That's actually about 10 years ago. Okay, so when I went to the military after that, I gained some more experience in terms of the truth, the limit that the person can have moving forward, and the challenges that the person can have moving forward. Good idea. So I went there and served the nation, regardless what you like or what you don't like. There's one thing that I want people to realize: when you join the military, you will do what you signed to do. You will do what you're told to do, regardless of what you feel or what you want to do. Many people are out there, they're doing stuff for the name of the nation, but really that's not really what they want to do, but they have to do it because they signed for it. And I want people to understand it and respect it, because military is a big sacrifice. It's above what people think. Never been there, you can really judge with complete certainty. Now came out, I decided that I wanted to run for an office, not the mayor office, but an office. And if I have run that year in 2008, because I already have my company paper put in place, you understand now that what I start talking in the beginning gonna start making sense. The way you're gonna treat me will depend on how our relationship will be tomorrow, because you don't know me. But let me clarify here. So in 2008, when I came out from the service, I have been in contact with many people. Uh, After I met with Steve Chabot back in 2007, 2008, if I'm not mistaken. I have a big experience when I write and have the Medal of Excellence because of my work. One night, I believe that one day I worked for 23 hours with no sleep. 23 hours no sleep, standing up. And I received a Medal of Excellence the next day by commander, high rank commander. So I met many general, many high rank officials there. They see something on me that they believe that my life should have been more better serving, because I have had a lot of difficulty, because my ideology was very above, even if I was a very high working person. So I met some high rank people in the Democratic Party. I don't know, I didn't knew the intention at the time, but with my company, with that military background, with that education background that I have at the time, I should run for that office, and I should have won that race. But many people encouraged me. So when I went there, the Holy Spirit told me to say this for a reason. You're gonna get it later on, because it's part of the problem that I have. So I went to the election bureau of the county of Hamilton, and then I met with the director at the time. I don't think that she's director anymore. And I talked to her. She interviewed me, and then she talked. You have a good idea, young guys from overseas and stuff. With my experience as a UNESCO representative and spokesman when I was 17 or 18 years old in high school and stuff like that. And the matter came out that I need to give all my information, and I asked them a question: do any other candidate give all the information? They say yes. And at the time, our president, he was a senator, Senator Barack Obama, name was there with all the addresses, because I was a candidate at the time. I'm not going to tell you exactly what position I was trying to run. I don't want to generate a lot of problems here. The future still remain unwritten, so I got to be careful here. So the point is, I get all the name of all the candidates, and at the time, anyone who have potential to run at the time had the potential to access that trial. And that's how I got the information about our actual president, which at the time he was a senator. And I wrote him a letter. I didn't get his information because I was stalking him. No, I got it because I was working hard to get ahead somewhere, and then it just happened to be up. Maybe those are people that, because I knew with my spiritual skill that there's something about this guy. There's a chance that he might win this race. So if I go forward with what I want to do and create some good friendship with people like this, it might help me with my company to move forward. But the letter came. The situation didn't happen that way. It created more problem than I thought. So what I'm saying here is that if that situation was used as a form to adjudicate an action to profile me, I want all the lawmaker, John Banner, and all those people, um, the head of the Senate floor, to realize that it was a misjudgment, it was an error that must be corrected, and my name have to be removed, and any other thing that has been done have to be removed completely, and then my name should be clear. All right, because I believe it was used as a tool to profile me, profile my name, as he became the president at the time. Security, the national security was more advised about any other letter that he received, so all those people were put in a certain scope and loop, for certain reason, for security reason. But that was not the case. I'm a normal John Joe out there who was just looking for opportunity to survive. That's it. Your estimation, with all the respect I have for you, has been wrong, and I've been paying the price since then. So the Holy Spirit told me to speak about this because it was an issue. Now, let's move forward. I run a business. The primary function of my business is doing consulting work with companies, financial consulting, analytical consulting, and it's all done through the use of technology. And I do work for myself as self-employed, and then I do have the residual that I receive, even though that is not enough like any new company was growing up. My company have at this point I believe about 5 years of existence, because it was actually established around October of 2008 when I received the final letter of approval by the IRS as a 501c3 organization. I'm not talking about the SID, the state ID number, all those regulations. I'm talking about the letter that was more important to me to run this agent, to run this company. Okay, so that's the point. And then so it's about 5 years. It's a brand new company, exclusively when the founder have a defamed name and character, if I can add it to my profile. So the point is, I have people who believe that because they don't see me carry a bag, go to an office, so I don't work. No, I do. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed because I by myself doing everything. I have to handle mails, I have to handle emails, I have to handle requests from people, I have to search for new opportunity, I have to work in my programs that I study in school to make sure that I'm still able to perform the job that I'm doing. I have to continue my education. So I have many things in my plate. You guys just don't have a clue. I am pretty much overwhelmed, even though that I'm not making enough. But this is a choice I made to be a self-employed and take a revolution, inner resolve revolution, so that tomorrow can be better for me. Any company started like that. People started in the basement, and the company today have 10, you know, 10-story mobile or out there in downtown, in the city, respective city and state. So you can make fun of a company that only have 5 years of existence, exclusively somebody like me who have a very damaging profile that was put in place by people. My life is just temporary around at this point. I know exactly what I want. It's very simple. Discover the inner potential that God gave me and use it for the benefit of the universe. It's very simple. Not too much complication of talking. And this must be applied to any person in this globe. You should discover your inner talent and potential and use it for the benefit of the universe. That's the reason why God sent you in this earth. I am well potent. I am completely potent, well potent. I don't need. I want to explain people what's going on. What is called cardiovascular disease? In cardiovascular, you have two different words. You have cardio and you have vascular. Cardio is linked to your heart. The function of your heart is to provide fresh blood to your lower and upper organ and renew that blood with new fresh oxygens when it comes back to it from those organs through the arteries. And after that, it does send back a fresh oxygens, blood with oxygens through the veins to those lower and upper organs, upper organ of your body. Vascular, sorry, clearing my throat. Vascular come from the veins, the vessel, which include the veins and the artery. So, what causes cardiovascular disease? When your vessel, I'm talking about the vein and artery, have a problem of blood flow because the inner diameter is reduced due to an accumulation of toxins. That's blocking, like a plaque, blocking the flow of the blood. You start having some problems, and that's what causes those cardiovascular disease. And in time, your cell will degenerate, and you will need more different assessment to maintain and promote your health. But for some reason, I have people out there that think that they can mutate the gene. It means they can take a 34-year-old man and do some clinical trial on that man and mutate the gene of that man to accelerate his aging factor. It doesn't work like that. You don't understand. People who are saying that to you, they're lying to you. Unless you are born with genetic deficiency, yes, it is there as a marker. But if you are not born with genetic deficiency, it is it's even impossible very rare case to mutate the gene of a normal person and accelerate the aging process. Because the gene that you have, every single organ of your body have cells, and the cells are the basis of everything in your organ. And you have trillions of cells that rejuvenate every second in your body. They call it, and I call it, the self-response curability of the humanistic body. The way it was default to function. No, now when you have the toxin coming in your body, you have the liver identifying those toxins by releasing the C-reactive protein from its fat cell and blood vessel. Because the liver is considered as the cleanse of the body, weighing around more than 3 pounds. I believe it's the most heavy single organ in the body. I'm not talking about the muscular system. Beside the muscular system. So when those C-reactive proteins are released, it will trigger a message to the white cell blood that we have foreigner in our system. Then the white cell blood will come out and start fighting those toxins. So how do they gonna do it? They're gonna identify, the white cell blood will identify the amount of C-reactive proteins to inferentially dictate the amount of toxins that is in the body, because it's a normal ratio. If you count n amount of C-reactive protein with correct estimation, it should be equal to n amount of toxins in that body. And that is the reference used by the white cell blood to come up and start fighting. But in the meantime, your body gonna feel the pain and difficulties in the meantime till the fight is over and those toxins are eradicated from your system and removed from your system. It takes time. It is easy to destroy than to build. It is a principle that is true in physics. Every principle in every area of life. That principle, easy to destroy than build. So it takes 1 second for a person to be infected, but it will take, or for somebody to have an accident, or somebody to be injured, or somebody to be exposed to environmental chemicals or biological agents, indirect or direct biological agent. It will take a couple seconds, but it will take more than that to cure that person so that he can revive and be back to his health stage as he used to be. So it's a very, very important section to identify. So when you have those plaques within your vessel, it will become a challenge to remove those plaques so you can have a normal circulation within your vascular system. The same as the capillary. The capillary are areas of the vascular system within the junctions, pretty much where you have inner joints within your muscular system, within your musculoskeletal system. That's where you have the capillary, those little vessels composed of arterial, which are very small artery, and also very small veins, like vesicles. Those area, capillary area, are where you have exchange of good nutrients and toxins, as well as oxygen and carbon dioxide. So when you're having those area, little area, very small toxins, like within inside those centimeter diameter vessel, you start feeling pain, because the flow of the nutrients, the flow of those organisms within will be very difficult. So that's the reason why you have to exercise. You have to exercise, you have to eat well, you have to have a good diet. You have to have some discipline to maintain your health. And that's the reason why I came with the campaign, the Charity Ecocide Awareness Initiative. What is ecocide? Ecocide is just a science that study the description of the environmental health, the health of our environment. Science that study the description of the health of our environment. The environment is composed of the ecosystem. I'm talking about the agriculture, or other composure of the forest that provide us oxygen. Oxygen, and we release carbon dioxide so that they can use it during the photosynthesis process. Then you have the zoology system that is part of the environment. You have the public health, which is us, the population. You have geology, which is part. Geology is actually the study of Earth and all classification of material that compose Earth. Is part of the environment. Is also necessary because the composure of certain area allow the production of better nutrients. So certain area where you have toxin, you cannot produce food out there, because those food will be contaminated, and then if they're contaminated and then this brought into the market, people are going to get sick. Yeah, aerospace is part of the environment, the air that we're breathing. So that's why came the ecocide. That word exists in a dictionary. So it is important for people to realize that the food that you purchase in the food market are there for a reason. They have nutrients within them that are necessary to fortify your body. Like the health, like again, the health of your bones include three factors. It does include exercise. It does include vitamin D. It does include calcium. So you find any food out there that are sold. You have milk, contain calcium and vitamin D. There's other food in the market that contain those elements. The point is, we are the result of many of our problems. We are also the problem of our problems when we cannot find that resolve. There is a principle that the first principle that I put into Glometricology, which is the study of the metaphysic, which is the study of the supernatural world, and the universe and the cosmic law, as well as the absolute energy, the absolute power equal to the infinite intelligence, maximum knowledge, through the equation of knowledge that I revised recently. You boost your energy. You practice well. You exercise well. You're going to increase your health ability and live more longer. Being healthier do not mean that you don't want to age. Aging is different than being healthier. Because I have people who want to confuse people with it. They want to come forward and say, you're exercising too much because you don't want it to age. No, you're going to age. But you want it to age healthier and increase your life expectancy based on the technology in place. The life expectancy that people had 3,000 years ago is not the same life expectancy that people have today. It used to be an average 24-year-old. People were dying. When I said last time that the average of life expectancy in heaven is 73, somebody told me, you don't say people when they're gonna die. Hypocritical. And those are people who go to church. So because God gave you the power to be a priest or a spokesperson of God, do you believe that God cannot use a Joe Smith to be inspired for stuff that he doesn't tell you? And then you're going to dictate how God functions. During the time of Jesus Christ, do you know how many high priests existed? You believe that we do have high priests today? We don't. At the time of Jesus, there were more high priests. I'm talking about people who understood the word of God. But they just didn't understood that new vision because they have not experienced it before. It was the first time. The way I'm talking today, there are many people out there who don't even give a damn. But I don't also give a damn. But for those who have a sense, they can listen and say, hey, maybe what this guy's saying is completely true. So the life expectancy is 73 in heaven. Mark. How do they say it? How do they came up with those algorithms? They look all the nation around the entire world, not only a specific wealthy nation. Of course, if they come in America, it will not be 73. But why do God gonna look only a specific nation when He created all human beings and He loved everyone? You tell me, smarter man, talking about who you gonna tell people when who are you to tell people when they're gonna die? So God look all the nation around the world. He look the average death data collection. I did biostatistic. It's very simple. It's a very large data. You're talking about billion of people who die because they recorded all of that. They have the data over there. They record, and they come out with what we call arithmetic average, which is a mean. Because there's also a geometric average, but that's not. I'm talking about geometric average. I'm talking about arithmetic average. I mean, you take the age in which people die in each country. You can take an average in each country if you want, by simplistically adding those numbers and dividing those numbers by the number that you have added together. You divide that and you get an arithmetic mean average, which is called the mean. Then you can take all those mean, added them together, and divided that by the total of mean that you added, and you get a final average life expectancy. Or either what you can do, which is the longest way, you can take all those, regardless the country, you take it, the age where people die, you take all of them together, and then you add them all, billions, and divided it by the number that you added, and it will give you 73. Okay, why that number? Because you have a normal distribution of death in a certain place, and you have a standard deviation that exists correlated to the life expectancy based on the social economic status of people. So that standard deviation is an identifier of the gap of social equality, social lifestyle, where you have in certain country the life expectancy is about 40. So when you take that outlier of the third world countries and you add it up with the industrialized wealthy nation, that's what changed your understanding of 73. So that's an overall life expectancy in the entire globe. All right? So I'm not here to tell you, I'm here to pass the message for those who can listen. Now let's start with the real thing. All right? When God, before the universe was created, there is a calculation. There is an area of calculation called numerology. Numerology is the science that is used in the cosmos and in heaven to make calculation of everything. But what I'm talking here is even the basis. It is above all mathematics that you have studied, above all physics, above all chemistry, above philosophy. it is a knowledge that is true, will never change till the end of no time. All right, there is 9 fundamental numbers that exist in the entire universe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0 is not counted. 0 in numerology is like not existing. 10 is equal to 1. Because when you add 1 and 0, any number that you're going to add with 0 is going to be the same number. And the letter of your alphabet are all classified within those numbers. Pretty much, you listening to this, you are a number. You represent a number. That number defines who you are, how you behave, what you're gonna be, what you have been in your previous existence, and what you will be in your next existence. When God say, I am the Alpha and the Omega, what does it mean? The Alpha is the first letter of alphabet in Greek alphabet, pretty much, Greek alphabet. And Omega is the last letter of the Greek alphabet. Pretty much the Alpha is equal to the A, and the Omega is equal to the Z. And when you go from A to Z, it all corresponds within the number as specified. 1 to 9. Let's take just one example, the name of Jesus, and I find his number. J is equal to 1 in numerology. E is equal to 5. S is equal to 1. U is equal to 3. And S is equal to 1. And when you add them all, you have 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 1, 7. 7 plus 3, 10. 10 plus 1, 11. Through sophist reduction, you have 1 plus 1 will be equal to 2. That's the lowest reduction you can go. Now, what do 2 represent? That was before Jesus Christ was born. They say he will be called Jesus. What do 2 represent? Let me tell you what 2 represents. It actually represents duality, the position of Christ in eternity. In numerology, it does represent duality. They didn't invent anything. They say just call him Jesus. You think it was just an error? No, because it was already calculated what he would do. He will be the Son of Man. 1, binary. He will be the Son of God. 2, binary. He will get the second place in eternity. So his numerological name will be equal to 2. Now, after I say this, as the Holy Spirit dictated me to say, I will go back to the procrastination that happened. When Jesus Christ came out from the temple, he touches a young kid. He was a girl. He pointed the kid like this. You, in year to come, you see all those temples, all those marble, beautiful, they'll all be gone. They'll all be gone. And the kid was laughing. She was excited because somebody that she admired, she heard from, touched her. But she didn't understood. And nobody understood what he was saying. Why did Jesus Christ say that to a kid walking out? because the kid is the future. And who is part of the future will be facing the consequences of the previous existence. I'm not talking to those bigger than you kids, because they will not be there to see it. But I'm talking to you, the future. You think that Jesus Christ was not able to say that in front of people? That in the year to come, all those good buildings will be destroyed? But why does he choose it to a specific, to a child, and say that? Because they are the future. He was born in year 1480. He died in year 47. When you do in numerology, 4 plus 7, it gives you 11. And when you reduce that from sophist calculation, it gives you 2, which is equal to his position that he will get in eternity. So when you said he will be destroyed and I will build it in 3 days. Yes, he rise in 3 days. But what does it mean? Revelation. What do Revelation state? The kingdom of God will be put in place during his second return. Let me specify that. You go to Jerusalem today, what you see? One wall standing, everything else gone. There will not be any more building there in that area until he returns. Let me give you an assumption. Give me 1 second. I'm looking at my note here so that I can find that precise and concise information with no speculation. All right, right here. Now, I spoke to you, he died in year 47. I'm repeating this because the Holy Spirit told me people are procrastinating about it. They think it's a joke, so I have to repeat it. Now, he died in year 47. That was not a coincidence. He gave you 11 equal to 2. Again, like I explained. Now he said he's going to rebuild it in 3 days. He rises in 3 days. But in Revelation, he returned after the tribulation time and ruled for 1,000 years. So you start counting, multiplying by 1,000. When you take those 3, he said the same year he died, which is year 47. From the day he said, you add 3,000 years. That's 3,047. That the potential will be reoccurring. 3,047. When you add 3,047, what you get? You do 3 plus 7, you have 10, and you add 4 out of it, that gives you 14, and you do 1 plus 5, 1 plus 4, it gives you 5. What is 5? Expansion in numerological definition. Number related to letter. Expansion. The revelation say he will expand his kingdom on earth. I didn't invent this. That's why I started with talking about numerology. The science that defines everything. You, the entire universe, the beginning and the end. Everything I'm saying is even the basis. This is stuff that you're going to learn when you pass away, if you have a chance to go to heaven. You're going to learn it in the first heaven. Because they won't tell you what is the universe. They will tell you what the atheists, what the evolutionists are talking here. Try to prove men power, men knowledge. They will tell you where the universe was created. They will tell you where God come from. But you're only going to know that when you die. So the point is, expansion is one. You have five senses. You have five senses, five hands. Freedom of choice. You have a choice, with your hand, pretty much. Adventure, expansion. So you see, you're going to expand the revelation. You're going to expand this kingdom. The kingdom will actually derive from heaven and then stand in the same place it used to be. And that's where we're going to rule for 3,000 years. For 1,000 years. So when you take 3,047, when he returned, and you add up 1,000 years from his entire ruling, it will give you 4,047. Now let's do another calculation here, my dear friend. 4,047, you're doing 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. And when you do 8 plus 7, what you got? You get 15. And when you reduce it, 1 plus 5 gives you 6, the lowest reduction. And 6, what you got? You have family. Harmony. What do harmony mean? The definition in numerology. People who live in harmony after its 1,000 years. I'm not inventing something here. I'm giving you knowledge. I'm not a theologist. I don't gonna go to theology school. God is giving me divine inspiration. I don't know how. I never call it. I never want it. But God is the one who created me. And sometimes I don't have a choice. Okay? So what I'm saying to you here is the truth. People will live in harmony again as one family as Adam and Eve was created. Because everything will be destroyed. And 6 also means destruction in numerology. As well as family, as well as harmony, as well as art and beauty. Remember, we were created in the 6th day. That was the art from God. The beauty, the revelation from God. I'm just giving you knowledge here. So expect Jesus Christ to return here in year 3047. Now, when you look the implementation of Christianity in back then, during the time of the Emperor Constantine, when did that appear? 325, 324 and 25. You think it was an error? No, it was not. So take in consideration what I'm saying. Jesus Christ died within 100 years of count. If you multiply 100 times 3, you have 347. That is approximately the time where Christianity evolved, grows in the entire world. So that's the reason why the Holy Spirit told me to repeat this, because it's very important. And Jesus Christ keeps saying, I'm coming soon. I'm coming very, very soon. Time go fast. Imagine we're already 2,000 years from the time he was born. We have pretty much 1,000 more. But let me tell you, the world will not be the same. People will be living the way we see in fiction movies 1,000 years from now. There will be new form of technology where people will increase their knowledge in a certain way that they will be able to be a supernatural people. The truth seeks to challenge God himself because they're going to have excessive knowledge. Imagine that they input you with satellite, internet, Wi-Fi in your body linked to your gene. How fast you're going to be thinking? You'll be able to say to God, you are God. So what I've been saying earlier is only to let people know that you don't have to be a person of elite class to be linked to God or to have God inspiration. You can only be a simple person to have God blessing. And remember, in life is not what happened to you, but it's how you respond to it that define everything. When Jesus Christ was alive, he had encountered many challenges because of the high priest. The Ten Commandment has been there. He was coming up with a new kind of knowledge, not well understood at the time. Even at the present, there's no difference between the Ten Commandments and what the New Testament is. Only and simply a translation of the New Testament in a new era. It's not anymore like two nations were fighting in the past. Hey, I'm going to fight you today. We're going to meet at the corner of Main Street and M Street. And all the soldiers gather together and come to start fighting. That era is over. So God have to come up with those with Ten Commandments. So harsh. But those Ten Commandments never change. Just now is more philosophical because men became more and more wise and clever. The Ten Commandments are still there. There's nothing he subtracted from the Ten Commandments. There's nothing he changed from it. He added knowledge from previous knowledge through what I call innovation and revival of knowledge. You have a knowledge that is there, but you don't know how to expand it. You have number six. Number six mean beauty, art, harmony, family, destruction. But during that time, they only thought that six mean beauty and art. They never knew that it can also mean harmony. It can also mean family. In time, God brings new stuff, new knowledge to people. So we look at the work of God, the evolutionists, the people who are saying that the universe evolved by itself. And I say to them, Without anything, there's nothing. This is applied to all aspects in our life. Without anything, there's nothing. If that is true, how come the universe evolved itself so perfectly structured? You give me a random phenomena through inferential statistic, random phenomena in which you can throw 100 bills in the air, and those 100 bills come out stacked one above each other accordingly, perfectly in the air. This is a question to evolutionists. Take 100 bills, throw it in the air, and I want you to assure that those 100 bills come back together, stack one above each other, stack perfectly. If you have it, maybe I'll tell you, maybe I'm wrong. God does not exist. But if you cannot do it, maybe you have to realize that there's somebody over there. Now, there's a principle. Either you have to ask yourself, were we created in the image of God, or God is created in the image of our imagination? If you answer that question wrong, I do believe that everything else will be wrong. Because the evolutionists think that God is a product of believers' imagination. John Hopkins defined that the universe the visualization of the universe can be explained through science. Without the intervention of a supreme being. It can be explained. Why it can be explained without intervention of the supreme being is because it was done using knowledge. It was done using knowledge. You go in a space and you tell me how a planet can be formed standing in the air and having a mass of millions of tons of kilograms and not falling down. And you have the law of anti-gravity that is not even used in the universe at this point. When the law of anti-gravity will be used, the entire universe will change. And I do believe that it was probably used during the time of the Pharaoh to build the pyramid. That's the reason why people today don't understand how it was built. Because they use a science that is maybe today called mystical science, but because it's a science of the supernatural, a dimension that exists without being seen. You can move 10,000 tons with your finger using the law of anti-gravity and bring it pose it accordingly in a space that you wanted to put it perfectly. The universe up have that law, and that's the reason why we are existing today, because everything are standing still, not failing. You're going to talk about the forces between the planets, the forces that each planet give to one another, divided by the distance square. All right. So now when you add all those forces, it should give you, it should be equal to 0 to find equilibrium. So now you also want to have to consider what is the forces that is canceling the gravity force. That's the anti-gravity force. So you are dealing with a dimension above our dimension. Even if you talk about 3 dimension, you have the X, Y, and Z axis. Let's say you have the forces between planets, considering each single planet. You have the forces from Earth to Mars or to Venus going one way, and you have the forces from Venus to Earth going another way. That's the x-axis. Now you have the forces of the mass of each planet, call it the negative y-axis. Now you should have another force that will cancel within each planet the anti-gravity force to put it pose as still and make it rotate. You tell me how the universe can calculate all of this itself without any action. And that's the space, 3 dimension. Let's go out there, an evolutionist. Jump in the air. You're going to be in what dimension? 3 dimension. And I want you to stand there still, not falling down. Yes, in a universe, the gravity are different. Yes, the gravity are different, right? But things don't stay still, they move. That's the reason why asteroids end up in Earth when they lose their axis. But how come Earth, the solar galaxy, don't move from one area to another based on that law that exists there, and stand still, rotate around the star, and through its movement of rotation, create a movement of revolution, of turning, rotation, 24 hours, moving once, one day, 24 hours, moving one, second day. So move around through the movement of revolution, 365 days around the sun. And you have the moon doing the same thing to Earth to keep that mechanism existing. It is a mechanism that forms the entire cosmos. It is probably impossible for the universe to structure itself so perfectly without an outer intervention. Now, another question I have for people who doubt God out there. I want you to go back to the evolutionist dictionary. Take a primer and make it grow to all the steps you have mentioned in the past so that he can become like you. Amen. If you do that, you will convince people too. Or are you gonna say it was the past? The past don't have nothing to do with the time. There were air, earth, water, and fire. There is still earth, water, air, and fire. And ether in space. There's no difference. So take an organism, like you mentioned, the organism growth, change the forms, put all that organism in all the algorithm and permutation and combination you have mentioned, and see if he gonna end up being a man with a spirit, with a soul. I'm not even going to spirit, soul. With all respect to all human beings, again, with all respect to all human beings, I do believe that the evolutionists are a confirmation. They try to confirm men as God, men of God, or God man. They try to confirm the absolute knowledge of man being. That's all they try to do. How powerful men are. That's what they try to do. And that can only be the work of Lucifer. They try to prove how powerful men can think and put aside God. God don't exist. Well, if that's the case, I do believe that you can also build a vessel that can bring you to a galaxy, to the space, and create your own galaxy. I'm even going forward very far. I want you to go to this space and find a galaxy that have a planet like Earth where you can live accordingly. It generates itself so perfectly that there might be more planets like the solar galaxy that have a planet like Earth where you can live. Well, my dear friend, I am proud. I am not contempt to your knowledge. I am proud to have this conversation. I will incline any response from you. Then, the point in the matter is, we live in a world today where everything is materialistic. I walk out there in a parking lot and I see a girl and say, "Hey, how you doing? You seem too tall. I thought you were taller than I." I was trying to introduce myself. She dismisses me. Huh. And I was in my mind, oh, what happened if I was Bill Gates? Maybe you should give some attention. Oh, what happened if I was Nelson Mandela? Maybe you should have give some attention. Oh, what happened if I was, you see, the power of the name. Oh, I'm just looking for a person who is very simple. I'm looking for a person that I can love and give him. Really, what the person is saying is that I'm looking for somebody where I can have security, big name. You can be surprised that Bill Gates put his name out there. I'm looking for a wife. You're gonna be surprised how many people will be sending the letter. The power of the name. People are hypocritical in their thinking, but they don't want to say that the truth. I'm saying me, Gabriel and Icon. I I want a woman who have good financial wealth. I don't lie. I don't gonna turn behind. I'm telling you exactly what I like. My free will, right? 5 cents, 5 hand. Free will. Numerology. Lucifer didn't invent it. What Lucifer said to God is that we have the free will. It was already in a dictionary in heaven of numerology. We have the free will, so we can choose. And God said, yes, you do. It's right here. 5 cents is freedom of choice. With your hand. You are out there thinking, what happened if I was bigger? And tomorrow I will come. Because you say, 20 years ago, my name is, with all due respect, my name is Bill Gates. 20 years ago, we should have looked at him. Oh yeah, my name is Donald Trump. He doesn't even know how to put his head together. 20 years ago. Oh, our president, my name is, Barack Obama. Oh, okay. What clicking name? With all due respect. I've said again. Oh, my name is, Nelson Mandela. Well, you in jail planting tomatoes. So the point is the power of the name. When you see Bill Gates wealth, Oprah Winfrey wealth, money. No, that's not actually what I was saying. What I was saying was that, what did I say? But that really offended me? No, it made me laugh. Because unless you give a chance to someone, you will never gonna know the potential the person have. Unless you give a chance. The power of the name. I want people to go and look very closely the movie of Nelson Mandela. The character the guy had. You see, my dear friends, when you see the life of people, you don't know what they have in their mind. You don't know what they wanted to accomplish. But you jump and try to change them. Was he a dictator? No. He said, somebody tried to get me. Somebody want me. You will find your mate according to your desire and what will bring you to happiness. His first wife left him not because she was a bad woman, but because she understood she was not the right person for him. And she was right. He was a person who have a taste for women, but he was very diligent when it comes to business. That's a person of character. He can say, woman, you are the most beautiful woman I've never seen. But when it comes to real problem, you will not recognize him. And I find myself into that. Look that movie very carefully. He studied his characteristic long time ago. But when he met the right partner, you see what happened. She understood him and she became even more tougher in that sense than him at the end. You do not hate someone because your desire didn't go through. You have to learn from it and move forward. When a lady or a person rejected me, I don't go out there and start saying crazy stuff. I take it like a something I must add in my experience. Right? I don't hate the person because everyone is free to make the choice. Right? Same as I. I want people just to respect it. Because I heard people say he doesn't know what he wants. I told you what I want. I told you that I already knew what I want when I was 9 years old. Discover my inner potentials and use it for the better of the entire world. Use it for well. Use it for good. And save humanity. That's what I want. It's very simple. You don't want to think up and down. You have a talent that lies within you. Discover that talent and start using it for the bitterness of people around the entire globe and make people's life better. I was very surprised when I heard people saying, why him? Why he can get, this form of compensation? People take pretty much 11 years of my life in our nation. 11 years. 11 years of my life, and they believe that is all right. All right? You see, somebody say you move forward and forget about the past. That's true, right? Well, you're driving a car and you start feeling that your car start tilting in one side. Maybe your front tire or your back tire start having problems. You say, no, I don't want to check it because it didn't happen at the time I was looking at it, so I'll check it when I get there. Are you going to be surprised if you have an accident on the road? So what do I mean here is that even though that you have to forgive what happened in the past with consideration of that past moving forward to make sure that you move with wisdom. So what a wise person would do, it would be to stop, check that tire. If the tire have some issue, change it, fix it, then you can move with more clarity. So what people should put in play is that forgive about the past and use it as a resonance of moving wisely tomorrow. Because if you don't fix that tire, it will give you problem tomorrow, moving forward in your road. In 2008, when I sent those letters and started meeting those people, I get into a situation where I get to realize that there are people who want me down. I received a letter from the the superintendent of the Hamilton County disability person, the superintendent, the director. She said to me, if you don't pay attention, your business will not grow. Just because I spoke the truth. I don't want people to come after that, after this statement is over. I'm moving forward. Like again, I got the past and start using it wisely to move forward. And I said to them, what is this letter? Just because I said to them the truth that small fish like us, it is difficult for us to get client. Despite, no, even though that we know clients have the right to choose the client for the healthcare provision, they are under the scope of advisors who can give the idea legally for what they believe can be a good choice, such as the guardian angel. What they call guardian angel mean that the person that actually supervise their life are older family members, and that's not wrong. But what is so wrong about it was that, okay, what he's saying to us is the truth that we know we've been doing behind. It means we might not have, and it's not wrong about that too, because you don't want to give a client to someone that you don't know better. So why not upload my thought that was true and just try to destroy me into today. And I'm totally out of that business anymore. I actually put that program on hold because for some reason she went out there and defamed the company with the lobbyists that they have in different counties to make sure I don't have any client. But I took that letter and saved it to my legal team. But I never say anything after that. Pretty much I stopped going there. And you're gonna say, people tell me, no, you didn't supposed to say that, you know, well, you know what? You're gonna sit around people are gonna continue to get 10 clients and you're gonna stay there with none, and you're gonna be like, what the heck I'm doing here? You speak the truth. You take your Bible and go to church. You think that Jesus Christ died for what? He died for creating a scene of overthrowing the Roman government. I'm giving you what he was accused of. You're reading that Bible, creating scenes to overthrow the Roman government. He even said that he's going to destroy the temple. So they even misunderstood what he was talking about. And there was a second one, blasphemy. using demoniac algorithm to do miracle, just because they could not see, just because I've been a high priest, being in contact with God itself, but I could not perform what this guy is doing. So the only thing I can reason is that he used demon. And you're gonna think that that was the past. There's still people thinking like that today. Why him? Why not me? Were you born the same day, the same hour, the same time? No. So what do you expect to be that it must be you? Everybody born with his own characteristic, on gift, and all and on karma. Can you carry the cross that Jesus can carry? Okay. So let him benefit what he's supposed to benefit. Life is so simple. People are always looking at when you have success. They never look at when they even run away from you when you have difficulties. He's a loser. What do I gonna do with him? Ah, man, I didn't know you were very, very lucky, man. Ah, you changed your mind now, huh? Because situation change. Go find you another fool. Because that's what's gonna happen. When you start having a lot of difficulties, you become a very old man. Old man. It mean that the most unlucky person on earth. And everybody distance himself. No one want to do anything with you. Anybody. And when things start going well, maybe alright. Maybe I was wrong about this guy. No, what I'm saying is that I can benefit from this. Pretty much that's what you say in your heart. That's what I say. Jesus Christ, the man of courage. He died because he have courage. He spoke the truth. He didn't fear death. He didn't fear his position. He didn't fear that he's going to lose his job by supporting an ideology or supporting someone. If one single person within the clan that the ANC created have given up, I think that we should have had a different outcome into the life of Mandela. It takes only one person to give courage to the other side. One person. If one person should have become like a Judah, they should have said, you know what they should have said, like politician? Oh, they're broken. No, they're broken. We know what they're up to. But they did everything. They could not find anything that proved that they're broken. They were even scared and scared more and more. And that's come back to what Jesus Christ said. The person who's going to sell you come close to you. It's always close to you. It's always there. Did you really want to follow that man? He gonna come and destroy our ancestor, work. If we continue to follow him, the Roman gonna destroy us. They're gonna destroy the temple. But what they didn't see was that with him or without him, your temple gonna be destroyed. And it was destroyed. think that name was the name of Era, Judah, Tamar, the house of Judah. He came from the house of Judah. The same Jesus, right? He was a man of courage. All the leaders that you have, most of them were all men of courage. They stand still for the principle that they believe in, to pass their message. They die for it. You have trial, you have difficulties, and you start thinking it's the end of life, it's the end of time. People are telling me, well, I hope you have new hope, new aspiration. And new plan. My plan has never changed. My plan will never change. My plan are the same. I just gonna have to revise it like I did. God plan never change. God plan is still gonna be the same. Today, tomorrow, and after tomorrow. Let me tell you, there was a covenant that was made between God and Lucifer. The covenant is that God will never intervene in man matter, because he have to prove his glory that his decision of creating us was correct. I want you to know that, because many people don't. The challenge that Lucifer gave to God is that your people that you created, the lower being, that's how they call us, lower being, they are not perfect like you think they are, and we're going to destroy them. But you should not intervene if you wanted to prove your glory, that you're a perfect God. It's like a trap. And that's why when God gave you your compensation, it is a compensation. And that is the beginning of all difficulties and suffering that we have today, that people don't know. But when you believe in that, you know that, you stand still. God don't intervene, because God gave us the potential. That's where the Buddhists came up. Self-endurance. But I came and revised and said self-endurance, acknowledging that God exists. He gave us the potential, the talent, we have it within us to overcome problem. And actually that is what Mandela used. A self-resolved man. You go through a lot of tribulation, trial and temptation. Give up, not give up, give up, not give up, give up, not give up, uncertainty. Everybody is running away from you. You isolated for life. Like you can see the tunnel, the end of the tunnel. And things are getting worse and worse. And people can just give up, man. Just give up, man. That's Luciferic thinking. Because Lucifer knows that God don't intervene. God will only intervene when he have a reason. People are going to say, why God have to prove a reason? Because he's a supreme God. If you can prove a reason, how are you going to be able to convince people that you are the supreme one? You have to be fair. Even if you know that you have all the power. But if he comes with all the power, Lucifer is going to say, you see, I was right. Your creation, they are not capable. when actually the word of God never changed. His decision is finite, is complete, is sublime. How does he make an error? But he didn't make an error. It's that suffering sometimes make us doubt, because suffering is very, very tough. So he only intervened when he have a reason to say, Lucifer, look, you challenge this man for more than 20 years. You were not able to break him down. Now your time is over. You failed. And Lucifer said, I think you're right. He back up. That's the only time. That's the reason why you have to prove yourself. You have to prove yourself to merit that blessing. Why do you have to prove yourself? Because Lucifer exists. If Lucifer was not in that equation, you didn't have to prove anything. But why you have to prove yourself? Because Lucifer's mission is to destroy you. Is to make sure that all the benefit that God gave you, you don't get it. Pretty much you go through him before you get it, so that he can get access to your soul and command it. That's exactly what he does. But when you went to trial, you face challenges. And that's what people say sometimes. I pray to God, I don't see him. I call to God, he doesn't, because he doesn't intervene. He's there. But he knows you have the potential to solve your problem. And he will give you the energy. He will give you the knowledge that you're seeking for. He will give you what you need to win that battle. And when he gave it to you, it will boost your faith and say, hey, really, I can win this battle. Because what faith does, you are in a period of trial. And you are in a period of trial. You're facing challenges, difficulties. You don't see anyone other than yourself. But you know for certain, you never lose your eyes away from the great expectation of the future. That is the essence of your hope. You don't lose your eyes away from the great expectation of the future. That will bring you to glory and happiness. But you have to go through suffering. You don't see God. He's actually there. He's looking at you. But you can see him because he blinded you. He blinded your spiritual eyes. He blinded your spiritual ear. So you can't really hear him if you don't work yourself very hard to get into that dimension, to that level. People are going to say, why do God accept to such thing to make us suffer? Well, why do you accept it? Lucifer word in the first place, in the beginning. Did somebody force you to do that? No, it was your own choice. So now why you wanted to come and start saying why and why, asking the why question? You start asking the why question. That covenant was made that he will not intervene. He will intervene when he have a case that you can prove his glory. If he start intervening to each one of us, his glory will be put in doubt. That his design, his art, his perfection will be put in doubt. That you say those beings are powerful, but we don't see it. You keep helping them. You keep helping them. So that's the point. That's the reason why we think that Lucifer have a ground, but it doesn't really. If you really know for certain that if I build up my Dharma, I will get glory. And that's the reason why he didn't show up when Jesus Christ was suffering. It's simple. I'm not inventing anything. Just read the Bible. Look. Just look. Jesus Christ went to that garden and he asked God to spare him. Jesus Christ, he asked God to spare him. Why did Jesus Christ ask God to spare him? Why are you crying when you're in difficulty and suffering and think that that's the end of the world? I am in difficulty and suffering and I stand. Jesus Christ asked God to spare him. And God said no. It must be done. You were sent and chosen for that. And he said, if that's your will, so be it. And in his suffering, when he was beating, and he said, why have you abandoned me? Because when you're in a stage of suffering, you lose that consciousness. That your heart cannot take it anymore. And you have to speak that feeling. That's what being a human is. It was Jesus. Nobody else. It was Jesus. So, you will go to suffering. You have to merit what God gave you. Because Lucifer is there as a cloud to block it, to make sure that it doesn't come to you. Only through him. So you can praise him as your God. Then he will give it to you like he created it. And when you pray God, God will not show up the way you think he's going to show up. He look at you. He's in the distance. But there will be a day where he's going to show up. It might be after 10 years. It might be after 20 years. People say, damn, 10 years, 20 years. Yes. You think that he showed up in the day of Abraham when Abraham was what, 1 year old? He showed up with Abraham when after maybe 70 years. The Bible don't say it, but Abraham was already well old when he showed up. John the Baptist, when he was, he knew that the end was coming, he started questioning, is that really the real Messiah? Maybe I made a mistake. Human emotion, natural, by default. You have to stand still. Keep your hope alive. Keep your eyes into the destiny that you believe in. You don't lose your eyes out of your hope. You stand still and be strong and get there. And God will support you all the way up. But you will feel pain and difficulty and suffering. You will feel isolated. Pretty much a feeling nobody in a society. But in the eyes of God, you rank high. And I see folks telling about new aspiration, new hope, and new vision. a man of character, don't change. You revise your path and you correct it and make it good accordingly. You stand still. Because if you change today, you're going to change that tomorrow. If you change that tomorrow, you're going to change that after tomorrow. Just because God never show up. God will never show up. If you stay there and say, God, God, please, you created me. Please show up. Well, you're going to wait there for a very long time. You will wait there for a very long time. You have to work hard spiritually. You have to face your challenges and find the inner resolve of those challenges. And God will help you in your way, and He will give you strength to fight those challenges. And when the time comes, He will say to Lucifer, out. Your time is out in this person. And Lucifer going to reclaim himself away from you in a speed that you never understood. He sees everything. When you're suffering, He sees it. He's there. You think that when Lucifer came and tempted Jesus Christ, He said there's certain tests that were not included there. They put what was just general. He said to him, you make the choice. You're going to suffer. You'll be crucified. And I will be there watching. And every single time that Jesus Christ was looking at the cloud, He see Lucifer within the cloud, looking at him the way he's suffering, and say, you choose it. But nobody else can see. But He only know what he know the unknown. Only both of them and the supernatural know exactly the truth, the true known. No one else know the true known. The only known they know is the constructed known, a fabricated known. The true known become the invisible known, and the constructed known become the true known, which is visualized by people. I grew up in a family where, in a house where we have a lot of family, people, family. I grew up in a culture in which you have to be born, grow, marry a good wife, with whom you're gonna make a family, see your kid grow, and maybe if you leave, your wife take over. So pretty much a culture, not a generic culture or traditional culture. That is the normal culture. I don't talk about other people, I'm talking about my experience. Okay? People can find themselves into it. That's the kind of culture I grew up. And I understand that we live in a different society. But people must understand. It's just the truth. You get involved with somebody that understand those criteria, and you understand the criteria and move forward. You don't want to create an atmosphere to satisfy people, and then that people are going to think that you change your value because you want to satisfy something that you don't believe in. Trust me, there is a right partner for you out there in this universe. There's a match, a true one. I'm not talking about those. There's a spiritual and natural match that God designed for every single person. And those matches are permutation and combination that can exist everywhere in this world. You meet the wrong match, you have problems. Even if you meet the right match, you will have problems, but you'll be able to move forward. But when you meet the wrong match, you will have problems, and pretty much it will disturb what God has put in place for you. That's the reason why you have to choose carefully those things. And you know why? I find a correlation with what I just said with Genesis. Why do I talk about the right match spiritually and naturally? Somebody who can bound to your genetics characteristic. Let me link it to the creation of Adam and Eve. What God didn't use his own gene, because he already have the X and Y chromosome, God himself. What God didn't use his own X chromosome to duplicate that X chromosome and create a woman. Why does he use the X chromosome of a man? What God is telling us, you have to find your right match, the person which is linked to your spiritual and natural characteristic. That's what it is, and that's what people don't comprehend. God should have taken his own X chromosome because he created man with his gene X and Y. He should have taught his X chromosome and duplicated it, but he took it from a flesh, already created man, X chromosome out of it, and duplicated it and did his work, engineer a feminist nature. Because you have to find that bound, that spiritual, natural correlation. And that's what you have to get out there. When you look a person and you don't see something very good at it, you have done your best, but there's still not a spiritual and natural bound, it's not the match there. You're gonna see many reasons around because they don't understand creation. But that's it. That's the point. When you reach the right match, people are going to think that you're blinded by love. Yes, there are certain people who are blinded by love because they have ignorancy. Maybe they didn't know how to work that more better because they were less immature. But when you have this normal level of maturity and you comprehend life more better, even through difficulties, you're never going to have a relationship without difficulties. Unless you're married to a character, like somebody said before. Because it's like an essence to build up that relationship, make it more stronger. Because you're gonna say, I understand him now. more better than before. I understand him now. Now I understand. So when you look a person, you don't know what the person is asking for, want to do in his life. You don't have no clue. The only thing you have is that I need that person. When you fail to have that person, you hate the person. You fail to have that person. Maybe because you have not done something right. Apply to both sides. I'm talking about in general here. But when you understand the natural and spiritual bondage, correlation that must exist since creation, this is something that many people don't like to talk about. What happened in Genesis is like a curse to all human beings. We sin, we infested the gene, the original gene. And I finished to say that the tribulation will happen. The rapture will happen 7 years before the tribulation, where the follower of Christ will get into the new body. That will be the new purified body, like in the beginning. Then, when the 1,000 years is over, it will be like in the beginning, like Adam and Eve. Then the plan of God will start like it was planned. Why do people don't complain about God? God is like a GPS. You never use a GPS. When you use a GPS, when you get lost, what happens? The GPS will calculate your position based on where you are at to get to the same final destination. That's how God functions. Listen to what I just said carefully. God is like a GPS in your life. When something go out of the plan that he put in place for you, he's going to recalculate that from where you are to move you forward to the same final destination. The only thing is if you don't give up. The same thing when you're driving. You get lost and the GPS is recalculating and you say, I don't want to go there. You go home. It's not the fault of the GPS. It's you. You decide not to drive to that is, because you got discouraged. Logical. God will program your path based on where you are to get to the final destination that was designed for you. It has been always like this from the beginning to now. So what happened during Adam and Eve? God will program it. Different route. He went to many people in every year now. And it will get into 4047 and it will start. That will be a new beginning, like it's supposed to be. It will be a new era, new writing, new thing. Everything will be new. And people will be living with revelation, with the free choice, instead of experimentation like we're doing now. We don't know, we don't know, we don't know, we don't know. With revelation, you know for certain. Because revelation are prognostic, which are prediction of accurate event that will happen. revelation, prognostication, a science that refer to real prediction, and prediction can only exist for stuff that will happen for certain. Then, during that time, what happened when I talk about curse? The gene was mutated, sin enter all human beings. Do Adam is your father? No, Adam is not my father. But why do I was born in sin? Because he have committed sin. Eve was not my mother. But why do I was born in sin? Because Eve has committed a sin. Generational curse. Now, I'll go to a fact that many people will not like. And that's the truth. And many people know it, but they never want to talk about it. Listen to me carefully here. Why do the angel Lucifer went to the female? He didn't went to the man. There's not about perfection here. There's not about sexes. There's not about inferiority. It's only about the facts. It will build wisdom and knowledge. Why do Lucifer went to the female? Because he knew that the characteristic of a duplicated X chromosome spiritually are more susceptible to accept lies or things that are not correct or fear. That's the truth. For many female out there who are truthful with themselves, they know that what I've just said is true. That was a generational curse. I'm not saying that men are perfect. They are not. But it's just the characteristic. That's the reason why Lucifer went to a female for that. Because he knew. You can take it the way you want, but that's the truth. It's the truth. Sorry about that. It's the truth. If you go to stories, to all the biblical stories, you find out that in order for certain stuff to happen in this earth, they went through the female side to make it happen. From history to present. Doesn't mean that they don't have character. They can also be wherever they want to be, but it's just their spiritual characteristic. Because when Lucifer look at you, he doesn't look at you like a human. He look the spirit, the gift that God gave you. That's what make him mad. You just don't have a clue. He doesn't care about your body. Yeah, I'm beautiful. It's your problem. He's looking your inner self. Damage. Look what God gave to this person. I'll make sure that I destroy it. That's the way Lucifer, when he look human being, that's the way he look at us. You just don't have a clue. The same as when the angel look at you. Yes, they see you physically, but really that's not what interests them more. What interests them more is your spiritual being. They look at you, your true self, your true self. I'm not talking about when your knowledge start coming into your conscience. You start changing it because of your intellectual ability. Because when that knowledge, that true knowledge comes from your inner self, it comes to your conscience, you start using our egocentric thinking. No. You know, and then that's the way it is. So what do I'm saying this? What do I'm talking about this stuff? Because I wanted to motivate people. I want people, either you believe in God, either you don't believe in God. I want people to believe, to understand creation and understand life. I am the person who realized that I was in a situation for the past 4 years. People, I look on my company, I realized that when I do all the calculation and all the bill that I need to pay and all the other responsibility, that I will be considered as someone who is underemployed under. I mean, I'm not making exactly what I'm supposed to make. And I went with the oil job and family services and say, hey, listen, guys, you have to compensate me here so that I can maintain my BWC, I can maintain my healthcare, for any potential person who want to work with, for me or myself, and I can pay all those bills and make sure that the company function. They refuse. Since 2010 till today, we're still in court. But we're gonna go there and do stuff that don't make sense? No. I'll stay quiet, use the law, and understand. How the Holy Spirit told me, pretty much the way they told me was that because we are the controller of the universe, you might get it, but it will be very, 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 very difficult. I understand it. Because they are very negative people looking at that far. And there's no way we can convince them. Really, we can do that, but it's tough. Because this is the thing. When God touches your inner self, that knowledge comes into you like a flow, spiritual flow of love. So when it comes, it go into from your subconscious, which is your spiritual conscience, to your conscience, which is your natural conscience. And our natural conscience is what makes us live with denying revelation and live with experimentation, because we are too intelligent. And we accept the hecklism and say no. But what we don't understand, love is natural in man, but we rejected that love. We make hecklism become more natural now on us than love. But if a man can learn how to love, he can also learn how to, to accept people. But you learn how to hate, there's no way you're gonna say, I can learn how to love. Because it's your willingness, which is the key here. So you have to be very careful what I just say. I talk about generational curse. I spoke about God as our GPS. I spoke about Jesus, the courageous person. But what about me? What about Mr. Gabriel and Dyken? We don't have a name yet. But the thing that I can say to folks here is that the tribulation that you're going through will bring you to build a proven character. That proven character will reorganize yourself and rose your faith, and make it compatible with the challenges that you face so that you can excel from those difficulties and adversities. Then you have built your case within God's throne to say to evil spirit, step away from that man. He defeated you. I'm talking about all men. Either you believe in God directly or either you believe in Jesus Christ. Because for Christian, he's going to say in the name of Jesus Christ. In the name of people who believe in him, Muslim, he's going to say in my name. Allah, how they call him. That is the truth. For the people from Israel, he gonna say in the name of El-Elyon, Yahweh, Adonai Elohim Yahweh, step away. But when you build up a case in Hebrew, because people don't, Messiah in Hebrew actually means Christ. In Hebrew, Christ means Messiah in Hebrew. Alright? Christ means Messiah in Hebrew, which is the anointed one. And you have Jesus, which is like the chosen one. Jehovah, that's actually the name that they call him in heaven. That's actually his name over there. But if you come there as a new man and talking about Jesus, they're going to understand what you mean. They're going to understand what you mean. But that's Jehovah. That's the name of Jesus in heaven. That's all they call him. Because that is the Hebrew name. Now you have Jehovah El-Elyon, the source of everything. You will have challenges in your life. You will have difficulties in your life. Those difficulties will occur in different time. Because the ruling of the universe have existed and is subject to the occurrence. Spirit will transmigrate from time interval based on the same assessment of spiritual characteristic. So when the same characteristic occurred again, that spiritual code will occur again in different time, different area, different moment. Then you will have to pay back what you have had, your karmic existence in your previous existence. Build up a dharma so that you can start benefiting from the glory of God. In the meantime, during that's where Lucifer plays role, because he want to discourage you and make sure that he know we don't like difficulties. He know we don't like suffering. That's for sure. And then come in place. That's the truth. You can come back in this life. All of us here in this universe, I can say to you that there's no the probability of any person here with a spiritual characteristics that have not been returned is very minimal, because this is minimal. Yes, certain that we have existed how many years, a million years ago. The reoccurrence, the probability of the entire universe to have the same position again in time can happen. Many of us has transmigrated back, and it will not happen at the same time because you have not committed your sin at the same day. It will happen. It will also happen at a different time. When the same characteristic occur. So you can be born a wealthy person, never have problem, but when that time occur, you start having those problems. There's nothing you can do. You're gonna do everything you can't. It will not disappear until you pay that back. Trust me. You're gonna ask have money, but you're gonna sit in your chair, like Ramsey said. Truly, the God of Moses is the true God, because he have tried everything. He comes short at every single trial. At the end, the only thing he can say, the God of Moses is probably the true God. Damn me, why I didn't catch it earlier? And you see all the loss that you put in jeopardy because of your decision, because you could not believe in something that you can see. The God of Iris, the Jupiters, all the stuff. So you have problem, you have difficulty in your life. If you have not had it yet, be ready, because it will come in your life. It will not come at the same time. You have a little bit based on the time it happened in the past when the same characteristic appear again, and you're gonna have some ease, good time, and you happen again. It will happen because you will never gonna remember your previous existence, because it's this wash. You live now in a different persona, different realistic resona. It means you are in a new era. You will see it naturally, but spiritually they will know exactly what's going on with you. You will do everything. It will not work until you pay that back. You will do it. It will be like you are under shadow by something. Nobody will want to help you into that problem. Nobody's capable to help you in that problem. And mostly people are going to say, your problem is really above my head. I can't really help you. You get that answer. You're going to look those people like, what the heck? And they know for sure. Even if this guy has really made mess, but the ravage that is coming does not correspond to the mess. What's really happening here? I can't really respond to it. It's transmigration from your previous existence. You have to pay that back. It will come up different way. You can have money and suddenly you start having that money problem. You can have money and start having health problem. Suck all your money away. It's scared, it came back again. It's scared, it came back again. It is scared, it came back again. And when you pay much out of money, it is scared. We can see some progress now, sir. Now I'm happy. Now you look your bank account like, God damn it. You pay back. Really, that can actually bring you close to God. It's also advantageous. Either it can start before you become rich. And really, what lead to is sometimes suicide. I can live this life, man. I come out and see people with good health, their life is going well. Mine is always crazy. And Lucifer there said, kill yourself. What are you waiting for? Kill yourself. You're better than this. And he come and say, go and take a gun and shoot those people who hate you. Shoot those people who hate you. And what they do? In hell they have party. Yeah, we have more people coming. The point is, this is a spiritual warfare that you don't get. People gonna say, don't say anymore. If I don't say anymore, is that gonna change anything? Because when you die from this earth, you're gonna go either to hell or you're gonna go either to heaven. There's no imaginary place. I will be there with my grandfather. I will be there with, I'm gonna see my grandmother. You don't know if she's in hell. You don't have no clue. You'll be surprised the people you go meet there. Until they told you exactly what was behind the profile that they were hiding. Try to look good on earth. Man, I didn't know that she was doing this kind of stuff. Because we all live with I heard she say, I heard he said. We never live with like, let me try, let me talk to this person, let me really see what he think, let me really see behind what is the story behind this thing. Maybe we are adjudicating here on wrong basis. Let me look the truth here. All right, and you got somebody who say, this man is a bad man. And that same person, when you look his profile, he have committed more bad thing than the person that he is accusing. Like someone went to see a pastor, and he said to a pastor, I have a sibling who passed away, and I want you to give a very good message. I want you to give a very good message. And he paid money to the priest to go there and say how bad was the person and how good was the person. But the priest now look around and say, I am taking money here for the service. And I know this person who's giving me the money is also a bad person. So what can I say here? He went and said, well, I'll do it, no problem. But there were many people out there. He went and said, in a portion in which he was taught to say, he said, Mr. John Joe was a bad person, very bad person, but not like his brother. That was not part of the scenario. So people also understood that even his brother who was standing there was also a bad person. There's no way, there's nothing you're going to do. Are you going to say to the pastor, give me my money back? No. So when you go with, he said, I heard, you're not getting the right information. Talk to the person. You get the right information. Everybody out there have a story. Everybody out there have a book. Something they don't want to be known. That it God appear and say, I want to know that. No, not this one. But what you hiding away from me, son or daughter? I know what you're hiding. I just want you to give it to me. Everybody gonna do that. So don't stay out there adjudicating people, knowing that we are not perfect ourselves. Because not every story out there are wrong. People who in the distance who didn't know Jesus Christ, they knew Jesus Christ was a person who rebelled against the Roman government. He insinuated movement to overthrow the government, and he used blasphemy to make his miracle. Many people who chooses Barnabas instead of Jesus, that's what they were told. That's what they heard. You wanted to stay with the herd? I say herd. You go ahead. But that decision will not come from your inner thought. It will come from the pressure of the society. You know what Lucifer want to do? To put fear on you people. He want to separate the good from the bad, so the bad can stay with the badness. Because he cried that other good, he can really take it. That guy, I can really get him. But how can I do? I have to mix up his entire environment to give him hard time. That's exactly what Lucifer does. He said, I told you I'm going to destroy you. And you there, you feeling pain. You say, go ahead. You really feeling pain. you really have a fake courage right there. And he knew that. But he really knows that. But he doesn't know if you're going to quit or not. But he's praising that you quick. And then you give it to him. He give his sublimation as a God on earth. That is not God's work. If you stand there, you listen to my story, that you have accepted injustice, that's not God's work. At the end, many people say God have let it, have allowed it. Why do God allow us to live in a community? God should have put one person in one continent, and another person in one continent, and another person in one continent, and another person in a different galaxy, and he will help them because God. But why do God put people together? So you can speak the truth and help each other. Are you waiting for God to come and make decision for us, other than asking God wisdom to make the right decision? No. If you're standing there, you know the truth, you know something has been done through injustice, you have to speak out, regardless of your position, regardless of what you're going to lose. You have to become proactive in the name of God, in the name of Yahweh, instead of being passive. Because when you're passive, you're giving your right away. You're giving your right to Lucifer, and say, you speak my place. I don't have a God to really oppose this situation. No, that's not the case. You have to come forward and speak and stay tenacious. I can't stay here and say to God, I could not help a person when I knew I couldn't help the person. Only by speaking, you have help. Well, I'll pray for you. I don't know exactly what kind of prayer you're doing. Or you're praying to neutralize yourself from the situation. Well, are you gonna say, what am I gonna give myself for a punk like this? Well, really, what Jesus Christ gave his life for us, for people like us who don't even recognize him. You ask that question, you get the answer. Well, I believe that your question gonna have your assumption gonna have a place. It is the word of peace. You never make fun of somebody else's animality. Animality here in a metaphoric way is awkward problems. Everybody have characteristic that make them really awkward from other people. But everyone have it. But you spend time of making fun of the other person, you have your own and your own challenges that will build problems. If you believe that yours is better, wait and see. Because every time that I face situation, I know there's somebody here in this earth who have more problem than I do. And always remember that there's somebody in this earth that if they tell you to take his position, you're gonna say, I better stay in mine. Please. You're gonna add please on it. And if they say to someone else to take your position, he's gonna say, I better stay in mine, please. Don't always look the good out of someone, because the good come out with a lot of responsibility and tough decision making that will make you run away from the person. You will not always be in alignment with your logic. The logic will always be challenged in life, in time, in space. You see a situation that you believe was good, and in time it becomes very awkward that you have to make decision. Either you have to leave or stay. And when you stay, you start corrupting your mind and start saying, man, I didn't know I can do this in my life. This is that is what is called reality on earth. But you do believe that God don't know that? That is the reason why He's looking your true self, who you are from inside. Because if you're an evil person, you're an evil person from inside. If you're a good person, you're a good person. The outside will stay the outside. Jehovah Jireh, the Lord, your master. That's what Lord means. Open the dictionary, you'll find it. The Lord, your master, is your provider. Jehovah Rapha, the God, your healer. Jehovah Nset Kenu, the Lord is your righteousness. Jehovah Shalom, the Lord your perfect peace. Jehovah Makadesh, the Lord who will sanctify, will bring you to holiness. Jehovah Nissi, your banner of love and protection. Jehovah Ra, or Liha, the Lord your shepherd, who tenderly lead you with comfort. Jehovah Shemor, the Lord who is with you everywhere, omnipotent, omnipresent. Jehovah El-Elyon, the source of everything. You see, those are attributes that are given to Jesus. Let me make this clear. I'm 34 years old. I didn't went to theology school. That's not a mission God want me on earth. He have a different mission that is already seen by people, but they just refuse to see it. I will serve people with God's word. Simple. I will serve people with God's word. What do I mean? Being a public servant. With God's word ahead. All the time. Speech motivator. Hope motivator. Critical thinking and system thinking motivator. Fighting for equality for the poor and ecocide awareness initiative. So it is very important that people work together. Those attributes are characteristic that Jesus possessed. Alright? I want to make this clear. Jesus is equal to God in his being and is different from God in his function. When you say Jesus is God, you have to put it in your mind that there's only one God, and that one God is called Adonai Elohim Yahweh. And he have a chosen son that is called Jehovah, who is another Adonai, which is Lord, Rabbi Messiah Jehovah. That's it. Do not confuse those two people. Yes, they all form one at the end because they all function under the seventh spirit. Alright? I'm giving you knowledge here that you will never gonna get from reading that Bible, because Bible is like a code. It might take you years to understand it, fully understand it. Keyword, fully understand it. The keyword here is fully. It means completely. With absolute understanding. When you function, you accept Jesus in your life, you will become, you possess Jesus within your inner being. Then they call it Jesus. You become equal to Jesus in your being, but different from Jesus in your function. Why? Because your function will be limited compared to him. And at any time, he can take it away. To be truth, God can take all the function he have given to Jesus away at any time. Remember, there's always only one captain in one boat. There cannot be two rulers in heaven. The Trinity is a governance mechanism. That's what it is. That's all. God sits in the north. Why the north? I can promise you, when you look the cosmic polar structure, heaven is in the north. Why is there? Look your polar sign. The north is always above. Why? So he can look better down. That's the reason why God is always in your north. You want to pray? Look north and pray. That's a gift for me today, for you. Look in your north. You'll be facing God without knowing. You will not see him because you don't have that gift. He will make you see him when you have that gift. But it's not because you don't see him that you're going to say what I say is wrong. Because even if you look south, you're not going to see him. So what make a difference? You say God is above. How God can see everyone? It's only if he's in the north. Why doubt me? It's logical. Makes sense. You cannot see everyone up from the south or from east. You can only see everyone above if you are in the north. So if God is in the north, it means heaven is in the north of the universal polar structure. All right, my dear friend. There are 72 angels that protect all human beings. 72. When you do 7 plus 2 is equal to 9. That's completion. All right. Now, when you have 72 angels that protect all human beings, it means they are God in the being, but different from God in the function. They can be omnipotent and omnipresent. Most people took that only God have that characteristic, but God is a God of open hand. You serve him, you benefit what he have. Right? Lucifer also have that because he was also an angel. He's an angel, actually have those characteristics. So it's omnipotent, omnipresent. So one angel can protect infinite people at the same time. What is funny is that an angel can protect the same person who hates you. That's another combination that actually occur. And what is more realistic is how he react to it. It's funny. It's like a game for him. That position, angel, is very difficult as a human to comprehend. When you have good heart, it's tough to see people destroying each other. You also have 72 angels that protect earth, the element of the universe, water, earth, fire, and air. You have 18 for water, you have 18 for earth, you have 18 for air, and you have 18 for fire. So when you do 18 times 4, that gives you 72. So that's why they say God control everything, because you have those people out there. They report back to him. When you have some encounter in water and somebody gets saved, magically, those are their work. Jesus are working in water. Those are the work of those angels. Jesus Christ asks the tornado to calm down. Those are the work of those angels controlling the air. They control also fire. They can eradicate fire somewhere. But remember, the same number of angels that God sent, Lucifer sent double than that, because he's afraid. Somebody will always send more is because he doesn't know for sure. But God never changed it. It will be 72 from the beginning to the end of time. Come with all your arsenal. That's what God said. I'll destroy them every single time. So you have 72 there, guardian angel that God sent. Lucifer sent actually double of it, which is 144. So even triple, because for each person he's gonna send more angel to distract you, demoniac angel to distract you. So that's the point here, and that's the end of this. And then I would like to make sure that say people to have a very blessing year, and that they pray for those who are impacted by disease. I pray for myself. I'm alive. For the past 4 years, I've been a victim of food poisoning and toxins and radical attacks, spiritual attacks, physical attacks against me. So, but I survived it. So I believe that I'm answering the question to people who are gonna say who he is to preachers. I'm not preaching you. I'm giving you informational news. There's a reason why I say informational news. I didn't want to say good news. So we have to make that prayer for peace around the world and make sure that people have good heart. In the name of Jehovah, our provider, in the name of Jehovah, our healer, In the name of Jehovah, the person who's always here to protect us. In the name of Jehovah, the being, the high being who's always here to give us peace. In the name of Jehovah, our sanctuary. In the name of Jehovah, the person who loves us or who always gonna protect us from the enemy. In the name of Jehovah, our shepherd. In the name of Jehovah, who is with us everywhere and the source of everything. I would like to pray for a blessing to come upon people, to clear their heart, to love one another despite the differences, to make sure that they comprehend with your blessing that hatred, jealousy, envy are the work of Lucifer, not your work. Despite the differences, they should know that you are the one who created us with all those different characteristics for your glory. In your name, to humble themselves before being glorified, than glorifying themselves before being humble, so they can find your path. I'm praying for people to find peace, to find healing. Either they have physical, spiritual, mental, and financial problems. Emotional problems, marital problems, relationship problems. You are the unseen being, the unknown. But the faith that exists between you and us human is believing in you without seeing you, believing in your power, that you will provide, that you will heal, that you will give peace, that you will lead us to wisdom, that you sanctify us to find better path to purification, so we can build a more better relationship with you and God, our Father. We must know that God, the great Elohim, Yahweh, is the source of everything. We should give every problem into Him. Make sure that we don't make premature decisions that can destroy other people's life. To give us wisdom before we make certain vicious decisions. Forgiveness is powerful than revenge. Compassion, even more stronger than anger. Let us be the people who can live each other with harmony, because at the end, there's no winner. At the end, we are all losers. At the end, we will never find what we have always thought we will find. And at the end, you are the one standing. So the name of Adonai, Elohim Yahweh, the name of Adonai, Messiah Jehovah, and the name of the Holy Spirit, I would like you to bless my presentation today and everywhere and everyone around the world, and any single person who is facing challenges of health to recover immediately in the name of the Holy Trinity. As of today, I'm done. As you have seen, I'm not a priest. I'm not glad to be one. I am a scientist. I am a biostatistician. I am an environmentalist professional. I am a public health advocate. But like I said, the mission that God bestowed on me will be to serve people with His word as a public official when His time comes. To get in touch with me, you can go to my website www.njohmedfundeat.org. You can also reach me in Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Gmail, and you can also have my emails and email me if you have questions, as well as the contact telephone number to important conversation. I don't want people to call me for stuff that do not proceed, even though that any advisory are important regardless their level. So join me into this battle to do our lasting purpose, to transform people's life, to change people's life, to give back what God gave us through blessing, because that's what we're here for. Making sure that we impact people's life for a very long time and change their life. The Charity Medical Foundation is thanking you for listening to this, and that if God bless, may I see you next time. Auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, goodbye, muchacho, and applause.